Derek Callenborn. I'm going to be talking about the safety of our table saw here at the CPC. We have a saw top stop table saw here. So, before using this table saw, you want to make sure all your strings or loose hair or any loose clothing is all taken care of. You don't want to get caught in the blade or anything like that. It'd rip you right in and it wouldn't be good. You also want to make sure the table saw is clear of debris. Here we have an air system here. We have a pull the gate open. And then we have a vacuum right here that pulls right off of here. And you can just vacuum up around it. And after you're done, you want to make sure you put it back in and leave the air on so it gets all the dust as you're sawing. So, alright, before you saw, you want to make sure all the guards and everything are in place. All good. And you want to flip these guards up. Also, before you saw, you want to make sure you have permission from your instructor before using this saw. And you want to put this up against the blade. And then down here, there's this knob right here. You want to loosen it. It should be tightened if the other person did it right. Loosen it just like that. And turn it this way until you have it a little bit too high. You want the gauge, which is the top, is barely showing, and that should be good. Put that down. Also, before you do that, on our saw, you want to make sure the switch is flipped all the way down, so it's all the way off. And after you do that, you want to make sure you tighten this back up here, just like that. Alright, now I'm going to be showing how if you these guards just aren't going to work for what you're sawing, or you can't see as well, or something like that. I'm going to show you how to change this just with a regular riving knife. This part right here is a riving knife, and it helps split the board. You always want to use a riving knife no matter what. If you don't, there's a really high chance it'll kick back. So you want to go like this. There's that flapper in there. You just pull this bad boy out like that. Put it over here, and then you can just put a regular riving knife in there, which it doesn't have the anti-kickback clause or anything like that, but it's better than nothing. And I think the riving knife is the most important part of the table saw. Alright, now before using the table saw, you want to make sure you're cutting with the grain. Also, you want to make sure you have a flat edge. So you might have to run it through the joiner over there before you go. And you want the flat edge up against the fence here. So you want to have it up against the fence so you have a nice straight cut. And then also you want to look for knots in your board, and you don't want to cut straight through the knots. Alright, now I'm going to teach you how to adjust the fence. Here you want to, that should always be down locked in place. You want to pull that up, and you just want to slide it to wherever you want to go. You look at this mark right here. If I want to cut 4 inches, I center that mark at 4 inches, and then I lock this down. But before you make your cut completely, you want to go in a little bit and then check it with your tape measure just to make sure that's right. And that should be right, but can always get knocked out of place, and you'd rather be safe than sorry. Alright, now I'm going to put the guard back on here, because I think it's a lot safer. Go like that, flip that up. Make sure the anti-kickback claws are up. But now, put this back on in there. Just like that. I think this guard's a lot safer because it has the anti-kickback clause in this guard right here. So I always like using this guard if you can. Now, if you're ready to start sawing, you flip this button up. It should blink a couple times. And then it should stop in the green. Then to start sawing, this is the good safety feature. If you're sawing and something goes wrong, you just click that, But to start it, you pull that out when the blade should start going. And to stop it, you push it in. When you're sawing, you never want to stand directly behind in case of a kickback. You don't want it to hit you. You always want to go to one side or the other. And also when you're sawing, you always want to make sure you have someone checking. And these, a push stick is always a good tool to use to help keep your hands out of the way, help keep your hands away from the saws. I always like using one. A push stick, I like using this one. I think it has better grip and it's easier to hold. You grip the board like this, and then you just push it through. The person catching can also use a push stick if he or she wants to. Yeah, so that's the safety on our SawStop table saw here at the CTC. You always want to make sure everything, after you're done sawing, you want to make sure everything went back in place and everything's good again for the next person to use. And yeah, thanks for watching my video.